Welcome everyone to another Overwatch Watchers Brawl match. We're going to be in the losers bracket today. Match 2. Team Serenity eSports up against Team G1. And today I'm casting with Man of Class. Man of Class, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Little sore arms, help some people moving, but it's going well. Ready for some Overwatch, and yeah, we're gonna go. Obviously, we need to talk a little bit about this because they've already played their first match. Didn't exactly go to plan because they lost it, which is something that happens sometimes. But yeah, that's why we have a lower bracket, right? They have another chance, but unfortunately, one of the teams will go home today, so there's a lot on the line for two.
Yep.
Well, you see.
Yeah, I've been looking at a couple of these players here, and it looks like we have a bunch of diverse players, a lot of flex players that can move on to any role. It seems like a lot of people are willing to take one for the team, play a lot of tanks and supports, even though they normally play flex DPS or hit scan DPS. So we're in for a treat. Waiting on some players from Serendipity eSports, and we'll get right into it. First map going to be Junkertown. That'll be really interesting for kind of first map of the day. There's a lot of sight lines and a lot of places that snipers can really move around. How do you like Junkertown, Man of Class?
I love Junkertown. Junkertown is a map where we honestly don't see that much standard 3-3 anymore. We do see it sometimes. Teams will switch back to it on the last point a lot of the time. It's also very popular as a first point defense and in general as a defense comp. But on attack, we do see a lot of Bastion. We see a lot of Baptiste. We see a lot of snipers. So that's definitely something I'm counting on these teams doing. But the most interesting thing is what you see that attacking Bastion comp and the defensive 3-3, and they have this. I call it Australian standoff. They have this interaction between each other where the 3-3 is waiting for the opportune time to actually go in with all their cooldowns, etc. And the other team is just on the cart, moving it forward, trying to take angles, and just staying away from them in general to do as much damage as possible. And at some point, they're going to clash. Something is going to happen. And yeah, that moment of tension buildup is really fun to see on Junkertown. Then again, could also be that that's not what's happening. We just have the snipers going on both teams. Some Marissa, some Hogs, maybe Bastions. There's a lot of stuff that can go on here, but that is like kind of the standard stuff we see.
Yeah, I think the bunker comp might be a big point, and especially the attack on the first point for both of these teams. It seems to be a very easy to run composition. You normally swap off after the first point if you end up dying and getting team wiped, but it's very strong just entering the gate. You can protect yourself from a lot of different angles by using the Orisa shield and by utilizing Roadhog's kind of zoning with his hooks. You want to be able to get off picks with the halt from Orisa as well, and I think that's going to provide a lot of defensive tools. But it's a good defense, because if you're pushing the payload, all you're hoping for is just to lure people into your Bastion's line of sight.
Yeah, and the Bastion is doing the brunt of the damage, but then when they're hiding from the Bastion, often you have these snipers going on the off angles that even if you try to hide from the Bastion, that there's still a sniper looking at you. So while normally with bunkers, what we've seen in the past is that, especially on like 2CP defenses, maybe hybrid defenses, teams instead of the Bastion, it's a very linear defense where the Bastion just sits there, everything's behind the shield. If you dislodge them from that location and attack them there properly with an EMP or maybe an Annihilate or something, you'll usually get them or get enough that you'll win the fight after. And with these compositions, and which you also see evolving with bunker compositions in general, that you have these off-angle DPS that will actually be able to do a lot of damage from the sidelines, making it not just you have to get the bunker, but you have to get the bunker and other things while not getting hit by the other things, and also then getting the other. On Hollywood, for instance, a very classic example where you see teams running a pharmacy or a Sombra on the side, because then the Mercy also always has a place to fly to. Pharah has the off angle with a lot of burst damage. Sombras could do hacks and EMPs, obviously. And yeah, you would still have the Mercy for the rest potentially for the Bastion. So there's a lot of things that happen, and the addition of Baptistus probably helped that the most. But it was something that was always sort of bound to come back. He just really kickstarted that again, which I like.
Yeah, I think the question is, because we're going to see some form of bunker comp, at least on attack. The question is, are we going to see bunker versus bunker? Are we going to see bunker versus double sniper? And I think that both of these teams are coordinated enough. They're 4K,
plus
SR, plus.
Yeah.
These people are talented, so obviously we're not going to see anything out of the norm coming out of the gates from Junkertown here, and it'll be really interesting to see what teams can do with the double sniper comp. I would love to see some kind of crossfire going on between a really good Hanzo player and a really good Widow player, because it makes that game really hard to play if you're playing an offense against that kind of defense. And I really want to see these two teams clash it out with those snipers.
Yeah, that is what we're always looking forward to. We used to look forward to that on Junkertown most of the time, because especially in the Overwatch League as well, first season, there's a lot of snipers going on, and that was very exciting to see on Junkertown. You had players like Linkster especially doing a lot of work on Junkertown. Pine with his crazy "I'm gonna go behind you and kill everything" plays. It kind of has been lost from Overwatch to a large degree,
really has,
especially in the higher tiers of play. And Junkertown is just a map that kind of brings those plays back sometimes. Not for every team. A lot of teams will still just want to run that 3-3. It's like, we'll be able to kite around the sniper, around the Bastion. We'll be able to do that and do enough damage. And ultimately, that's, about the objective. Like the space control, rather than we're going to kill everything. We're not going to die, and therefore, you're just going to take longer. But yeah, I mean, it's always a difference per region as well. Whereas in Europe, you'll likely see a lot more tank play than that naturally anyways. I always find that in North America especially, there's going to be a lot more players trying to do those flashes. We kind of see more snipers. We're going to see all those different things coming up. So I'm really excited about that, and I hope we're going to get the match underway soon enough to do that. But what really then... Well, the question is then afterwards, so we play Junkertown, and then a team's going to lose to something. We don't know like which team's going to lose and to what they're exactly going to lose. But then they'll get to think about, map choices and hero saves and hero bans that might actually just prove very valuable. And some matches, they're more valuable than others, I will say that, but it could be a big deal to them.
Yeah. Honestly, it really depends on how comfortable these teams are rocking the bunker comp. And now that Orisa has become kind of meta and has become very oppressive in the comp meta, the competitive ranked meta, it's interesting to see how proficient these teams will be playing with Orisa. And yeah, I'd like to see, if we're going to adapt to some kind of 3-3 composition later on in the match, or people just going to be sticking on to Orisa. I'm also super interested to see more Orisa Torb, because there's this particular team that's in Europe Trials called Clockwork Vendetta.
Oh,
yep.
Yeah. No, that's going to be so much fun if someone does that. But
they've been making a lot of waves throughout this scene.
I will say a large part of that composition really relies on having a tremendously good Torbjorn player and a very good Mei player. Your Rodok has to be on point. The comp works very well. So for people that haven't seen it, the composition that they mostly run is so the core is always Orisa, Roadhog, Mei, and Torbjorn. That's the 4 heroes they almost exclusively run on every map in any situation. They will switch up what supports and maybe a third DPS they'll run with it. Sometimes they run a Hanzo and a Mercy. Sometimes it's Ana and Zen. So that is where it's a little bit of a flexibility of what do we need against what the other team runs. But the map doesn't matter to them. But it's so important that you have a Torbjorn. Their Torbjorn player is one of those people that I'm not gonna call him out for being a one-trick player, but that it's essentially what he's been doing. So
Yep.
we've
He
seen
only plays
players like Fuey 5. Yeah, we've seen people like Fuey 500, and even Fitzy, you know, and Sombra, and like this is one of those guys that he has played so much Torbjorn that there's just these things that he naturally does with Torbjorn, even after the rework, that is just going to be it's almost impossible to deal with because you're not expecting him to do that because no one is as familiar with that hero as he is.
Mhm.
So for teams to replicate that, and then, you know, having also, and then, you know, besides that, just the Torbjorn factor, you have the same thing going on for their Herodok and Orisa and their May player. Like, they're all so proficient on their heroes that it's so hard to deal with that level of proficiency for those heroes that, you know, it's virtually impossible to copy that composition outside of having a very long time to practice it. And I think that's where, you know, they're making a lot of waves with it, but it's the same sort of thing that Hunters made a lot of waves with their Wrecking Ball and DPS play. It's the same way.
I feel like that's the meta now, though. Don't you think, for certain maps? Like, I feel like that's a thing. And
like,
it really...
But those are metas with heroes that are more familiar to people, and the way you play those compositions are more familiar. But when you play these heroes that have sort of always been very off meta, or at least close to off meta, they've always been these niche picks, and you play them on every map in every situation, you put yourself and your opponents into situations that you're just going to be so much more familiar with it than they ever will be. It's going to be so hard for them to find a way to scrim against that, to practice that. We had it going on in the first contender season. Actually, not the last one, but the one before that, with Windstrike using the Maygoats on most maps, and no one knew how to deal with it. And it's very hard to practice against that. A lot of teams talked about that. It's like, yeah, we cannot find a team that plays it like they do, because they have developed their own style. And I feel this is just actually 2 or 3 levels higher than that, where it's more heroes you don't see often in a play style that you never see, and it's going to be impossible for teams to actually practice against. So it's going to be a long time before they actually might even lose a match. And they've been doing very well so far. I think they're still undefeated throughout the entirety of Open Division and Contenders.
They are. I've actually talked to Purge from Clockwork Vendetta, who was the owner of it, and we had a short interview on my podcast that I do, just talking about how successful it is, and the composition that they run really counters goats. It really counters 3-3, and a lot of people aren't used to playing anything but 3-3. So
yeah, it looks like we're gonna go into a match. It seems that we have some sort of some player trouble, so it will be a 5v6 match. Yeah. Something we really don't see that often, but I mean, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, maybe you know, maybe the other player will go on in some other at like a later point. So it could be that this is just going to be a first map or a first half of a map. I don't know exactly what the rules are on that, but yeah, I mean, we're just going to start with Junkertown and see what happens, right?
Yep. A lot of sightlines in this map. This map will be super interesting towards snipers. Then it condenses. It gets a lot more suffocating as we enter points B and C, and we'll see how these teams can adapt to this wide area that's coming out on the attack and defense from port A. I love this open area from Junkertown. I love the positioning that you can really do as a sniper. Even playing 3-3 is really interesting.
Yeah,
looks like
it's what we're gonna look at, obviously. But I mean, the main problem for the defense here is you can think about all those things, that, you know, the sight lines and all the other factors that come in with it. But then, you know, they're missing a player. So a lot of normal strategy and normal things, how you want to play something out, is just sort of out of the window here, because they cannot actually. They're missing a part of their key strategy, the normal play.
I think this is the best.
Gonna go in. This is probably the best thing they can do. You know, just set up a bunker. The only thing they're missing in this case is that off-angle DPS that I've been talking about. On the attack, they're not running the Bastion, so they could actually be very open to all this spam damage. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they can actually hold on for a little bit with these 5 heroes.
Yep, they're running double sniper with the dive tanks here, and this will be really interesting because they're really focusing down Kabe there on the right-hand side of the map, trying to attempt to use the halt to get them into the fight. Diva's just pushing the payload, trying to maneuver around with these dive tanks, not take too much damage or shield pressure because of the Bastion. Bastion really backing up here. And yeah, it looks like a standstill for now. People just trying to get to position. Dive coming in from the Winston MGM. Yeah. Invincibility coming down.
I don't like that reposition from the Bastion though, because they had the immortality field up and he was moving while the field was still up. That's the time where you need to do as much damage as possible because they can't kill you anyways. And now there's no room for, I mean, the res is already in use, but there's no room for any damage because their Bastion's gone.
They really are.
I was gonna say, I'm really curious to see what Frenok is gonna do if he can pump in some extra damage, but it really doesn't seem like they have anything to do.
No one gonna die to that self-destruct there from Contra. Last second attempt to try and stall the payload, and it looks like that's gonna be taken. Interesting attack coming out. A lot of ults still coming off the bat from Team G1, and they're gonna take a commanding lead, taking out the Bastion. Gonna force them to swap with those extra snipes. Just playing very far forward while their Ana stays on the payload. Kabe's gonna use his Infrasight, and that is going to seal the deal on this attack. Just another fight win for them. Push us down to half a point.
Yeah, they're gonna go with the solo heal this time. So they decide they need more damage, they need more mobility. So Pone's gonna go over to the Winston, Bash is switching up to the Genji, Frenok over to the Reaper. So Jmart will be a solo support Mercy, but that's not even the best, the worst idea in the world. The only thing is that if Jmart goes down, they're gonna be in a lot more trouble than otherwise they would be.
It's basically a lost fight at that point. But I think any player losing at that kind of battle is a lost fight. Bomb coming in. Isn't going to get much, but MGM's going to take down Pone at the end of it. Jmart looks like he's backed up into a corner onto this Mercy. Frenok trying to do some damage, stalling on the payload. Jmart's going to get that res off onto Pone. He's going to try and jump in to the middle of things with his Tickle Cannon. Contra going down means that the defense matrix is lost. Neb's going to pop off here with the other double sniper from Kabe. And yeah, this looks like another cleanup. It's a C9er. As Team G1 just managed to take the point.
But they did actually manage to sort of win this fight here. Like outside of the spawn advantage now coming back into play, they did actually get quite some kills. So both Genji just without even their Dragon Blade, Frenok doing a lot of damage there. So they will have 4 ultimates up. Contra also going over to his Zenyatta. They just want that extra little damage buff and a little bit of healing, obviously, maybe defensive ultimate. Obviously, they won't have the Diva now, but I don't think there was much they could eat anyways. A lot of people will always say, like, oh yeah, you can protect them from some sniper shots, but realistically speaking, if a sniper wants to hit you, the defense matrix is rarely going to stop them.
Here's the blade coming out from Cory Bakutsa. He's going to get one off of Ness, but he's going to be taken down. Rez going to come through. Death Blossom doesn't really do much because of the defense matrix. Really nice plays coming from Foster there. And Pone going to be taken really low on this defense. He's going to go down, shield breaking. Kabe trying to do the best as he tries to snipe out this Reaper in this corner here. And yeah, where's his payload going, guys?
He's not really anywhere. I mean, the thing is, with Frenok, if Frenok is pocketed by either the Mercy or the Zenyatta, or both at the same time, now the Moira maybe, it's going to be very hard for them to kill him, even with Focus Fire. They really need a headshot at that point, because Frenok, as of course the leech damage, and with both Foster and MGM being there, he's just getting a lot of health back.
Yeah. Support's going down off of the side of Serendipity eSports, and yeah, looks like a wash for them. Infrasight coming out from Kabe, gonna try and just figure out where they are coming out of spawn. Nice headshot there. Another headshot. No, Contra's gonna take that. Bow to the arrow to the face from Nebs, and that's gonna be a full cap from Team G1 here.
Yeah, it's a very clean push. They were held up a little bit. It wasn't the full we're just pushing constantly push, which you sometimes see with Bastion compositions, but there wasn't a lot of contesting, which is it is still more than you may expect sometimes from a 5v6, but I think that was mostly due to some ultimate advantage for the defenders sometimes. So now I gotta try and attack though, and that's a much harder thing. Like as a defender, you can keep running away, and you can just hide in your spawn if you want to. As an attacker, you need to make a move in order to make that payload go somewhere. So
Hmm.
maybe that can play into their advantage, so they can sort of decide their own tempo a little bit more. But usually with 5 heroes, that's so much harder to do because while if every hero of that 5 jumps on another hero, there's going to be a spare hero for the defenders, and there's not much you can do about that. I do maybe like that contra Torbjorn pick, because if you have only 5 heroes, if you pick a Torbjorn, you sort of have 6, right?
Sure.
Maybe 5.5. I don't know. It depends on how good you are with the
I wouldn't
Torbjorn
call a
pick.
turret a 6 hero, but yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said like 5.5 maybe.
Yeah.
But, I mean, at least you could. Now you can throw the turret. You can pick some more interesting angles and use the turret more effectively. Which I think you can underestimate sometimes. I've seen it happen. That people just forget about the turret, or the turret's placed in a very intelligent spot and the Torbjorn runs somewhere else. Plus, he is just very tanky on his own now. He has natural armor, and then he can press his
Nice.
explode.
Really good snipe from Nebs and taking that corner. Really cheeky spot you can find on the left side of Junkertown there for the Widow. A lot of shield pressure going to be put onto Serendipity. Nice hook coming out from Foster on Cory Bakutsa. He's going to take that down, and yeah, it should be a cleanup here. Going to try and take down that turret. Kabe going to take down J-Mart in the back line. That's going to be the end of that push, and just get great plays coming out from Team G1 here, just completely stomping this defense.
G1 really not having a lot of trouble right now with Serendipity, and it's to be expected, right? If these teams are normally sort of equally matched, and then you just miss a player on either team, that's just gonna put all the skills in the wrong direction for the other. So again, it's understandable, but it's still interesting to see like how they try to tackle this problem. Like we have a hero less.
There's the Bongo coming up from Serendipity eSports, taking people out. Taco Ninja being battered by the Brigitte there, and Foster going to go down to the exchange of the Torbjorn turret, but Taco Ninja's going to get that res off with that beautiful Valkyrie. Headshot taken out on Cory Bakutsa. He's going to get a frag for himself, and looks like Kabe's going to get this cleanup. Not a lot of chances for Serendipity eSports to really get out of the base at this point.
I mean, you finally sort of equalize the numbers, and then Taco Ninja is just allowed to fly behind your entire team and get that res off. That's something that really shouldn't happen at that point. Like that doesn't really have anything to do with your number disadvantage. That just has to do with the incorrect target. But yeah, they're gonna go with a triple DPS and a wrecking ball now. I don't know if I like or dislike that particularly, but they sort of need to. I would say they kind of need to ignore Foster, try to run around him as fast as possible, and then just go for the rest of their team. Because Foster is something that's going to be hard to take down, and he's almost always going to take someone with him. So if they can run away from Foster, which they have the ability to do, then Frenok is going to go up to Hog of his own, but they could actually very well go to the back line and maybe get Yam.
Ooh, Kabe being taken down very low. Gonna recall, only managed up to 50 HP there. Foster being taken down very low as well from that Roadhog play. Kabe going to take down Frenok there. That's a lot of all charge. Bongo coming out from MGM, and yeah, this is not okay from Serendipity eSports. J-Mart is going to get this res off, but Valkyrie times out, and yoink, you're going to get meleeed by that Tracer.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, they're just sort of. I mean, sure, they're a member down, but they're also not really trying. Because I would say that G1 is also not really playing it normally, so they could take advantage of that maybe, but it doesn't really seem like they're interested in doing so. It's a bit of an alt match, this one.
Yep. Kabe with another melee kill off on this Tracer. That's what you're known for, playing Tracer, is the melee attacks. Ooh, another hook. Taking Frenok down really low. Just going to take a breather, but he's going to be taken down very low. Landmines coming out. Kabe going down. MGM as well. Is this the start to a good attack? No, it looks like Foster with the Nano Boost and the whole hog going to do a ton of work there. And that's another hold, even though their DPS players went down.
Yeah, I mean, like, once again, they get two, but then one res comes in and they use the Nano Hog, and it's nothing they can really do. Is the correct target focus isn't there. They're focusing on the tanks and Risas. Let's say that Taco Ninja goes down. That might actually be an opening for them to get at least a little bit further than they're spawning.
Yeah, that Coalescence going to come out. Not too much value. Break the shield slightly, but Contra trying to do the best he can on this Hanzo. Breaking some shields. Kabe, are you going to get some snipes off here? It's like he's playing fairly defensively with the Mercy out of the picture. As they're trying to go for Foster here, that's running the whole hog. He's going to be taken down, but in exchange from Contra. And yeah, this looks like another wipe for G1. They're going to take this first map onto Junkertown.
Yeah, they definitely are. I don't think there was a lot of doubt that was going to happen. Even if the 5v6 actually meant the 5-man team actually manages to win there, you got to sort of, reevaluate the balance between those two teams. But obviously, we have a relatively balanced tournament here, so not allowed to happen that you win a 5v6 and really showing their dominance off here in G1 with that situation. And I'm happy that they at least just didn't, just sort of falter, and they took it seriously enough that they didn't just make it harder for themselves than it had to be. And now I think we're just gonna go back to lobby and just figure out what we're gonna do with this, because obviously they could keep playing 5v6, but that is a dangerous proposition. Looks like they might actually 6. Ooh, yep. That's nice. Okay, so that might actually mean we could get a series here. Because with 6 that would just not have happened, I think. But nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And now of course the map picks and bans are coming into play, so that everything could change now. Like, this first map was sort of it wasn't even a show match. I mean, I'm not saying we could just ignore the first map, but yeah, it's
like they forfeited the first map.
It's going to be a very different game. Yeah, exactly. Like, the forfeit is actually it's almost like it wasn't played, even though it was. But yeah, looking forward to this. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what the map and hero picks are going to be for this next phase.
This next one. Yeah, no, because also, we got to look at who played what hero there, who are they missing, and missing a 6th player that was likely one of their DPS actually. So they didn't have one of their DPS players there, which means that in a map and in a place where they wanted to play maybe more DPS, they just couldn't, because they didn't have the right players for that. So yeah, that's good. Obviously they're not getting their main player in, so Kainam, who's normally there, is not there right now, so Slushy will be subbing for that. But that's good. I mean, at least they got a player in, and that's always something that we're happy to see, because then they can play 6v6 and it could actually be a thing. We're gonna go to Lijiang Tower next, which is very nice. And Brigitte is gonna be saved by Team G1. So now it's up to Serendipity to ban a hero, and that could be very interesting.
Yeah, I think the Lijiang Tower says a lot. It says that that Serendipity are willing to play goats, and this is kind of interesting because Slushy is a ringer. Isn't actually on their roster completely. This isn't their 6th that they were looking for. They found someone.
It's a 6. It's something,
Yeah.
They're banning Sombra. That's an interesting ban. Yeah, could just be that they really want to play. If they want to play a triple DPS, where Wrecking Ball is a big part of their composition, that makes a lot of sense though. Because if you want to play into a Wrecking Ball without a Sombra, you can. It's not impossible, but the Sombra just makes it a lot easier.
Yep. They also have some scouting, and they know that Team G1 plays Sombra. It doesn't look like that's the case, but we'll see as we get into Lijiang. Love this Love this control point here, night market, and yeah, this should be super interesting. This is a core control point map, so teams are going to have to face off on this control point in the middle of the map. 400%.
I'm sort of missing the environmental kills on night market. It has been a while since I've seen one. It's mostly because these teams are just going to play. A lot of teams just play these heavy compositions that stay just on the point and not so much around the edges of the point because they don't really have to. They have enough shielding and healing to do that anyways. And a lot of teams have just learned to back up like behind the point, so where that little I don't want to call it like little form is, the elevated block of concrete really. So true, and then it's really hard to boop them off when you get there because as Lucio you can't really get close enough. Farah, you don't really have the angle to properly boop them away. So yeah, it's been a while. Maybe we'll see some today. I don't know. But at least both teams are looking to just want to run a 3-3-ish composition. G1 is still in spawn. I don't think they're going to run out with the Torbjorn and the Widow. They could, just don't think they are.
Yeah, they're going to be running 3-3, but with the Ana instead of a Zen. The Zen provides a lot more long-term damage, and that Discord Orb gives you a lot more damage coming to these fights. But we'll see what the anti-nades can do from Yams. Maybe he can change the tides of this.
Maybe he can. I mean, he has already used the nade, so probably not the case for now. And Nebs goes down straight away as well. So.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Going to take a couple of melee attacks from. Woo, nice Earth Shatter from MGM, but he's going to go down. His team just wasn't ready for that. He was too low. Serendipity going to take this first point, controlled. Taco Ninja taken very low. Gets a health pack though, but goes down anyways to one of Frenek's orb headshots. Really nice plays coming from them. Pone still has his Earth Shatter, so even though that MGM used his and died with it, they're going to have a lot of ults coming to this next fight.
I mean, both teams are. I mean, the rally is gone here for Kori Bakasuta, but that's already a great graph coming out straight away.
Wow. That's a really nice graph too, because even if you trance that from behind, your Ryan's not going to have line of sight. Nice shatter coming from Pone. Grav coming in from Kabe. Bomb. Ooh, it's going to get two because the shield went down from Pone. They managed to break it, and Pone trying to do the best that he can. Charge coming in is kind of futile. He's going to go down. This looks really good for Team G1.
Now, Team G1 probably going to retake the point here. 50%, a little bit more going to be given up here. Nice lead into it, but they did have to use a lot of ultimates for that. The only thing they'll have up now is MGM with that shatter. Last time he did hit his shatter, but then he and Pone both died, so the end result was maybe not what they'd hoped for. But
Foster coming from right behind him.
Yeah, there's going to be a big super ultimate advantage for J-Mart though, so that could really swing the tides.
Oh, he's going to get that canceled, but shatter goes through. MGM's going to get a nice fire strike kill. He's going to go down though, and that's going to make a lot of room for Slushy here. He's trying to dish out as much damage as he can. Kabe has the grab, but he's being taken down fairly low. Is he going to use anything? He had really high energy. Shatter coming through, gets the Diva and Yams on the Ana. Yams going to go down. This looks really good for Serendipity now, and yeah, it looks like they're going to take control of that point very quickly. Ness being staggered out here.
It was the slight advantage in the return of Pone. Pone was just in a little bit of a better position than MGM, meaning that he could shatter there, and was able to shield his team a little bit sooner. And I think that might be a fault of G1. Like, they know those ultimates are going to be up soon, both the grab and the shatter. So they could have maybe backed up a little bit more to be with MGM sooner, because that would have given them a better chance against those combos.
Yep. Rally coming through from Nebs, trying to engage. Doesn't get much done though, and that's the rally timing out. Not too much value. Nano Boost coming through for MGM. Takes down Contra on that Earth Shatter, but Slushy's going to be the first one to fall in this fight. That's going to spell a lot of bad stuff for Serendipity eSports. Bomb coming through. Yeah, it looks like Team G1 look like they're cleaning up, but 99% going to be on the marker for Serendipity as the nice anti-nade comes through from Yams.
That really seals it. That anti-nade really seals it. I mean, without that anti-nade, the fight could actually have gone on for a little while because they were getting players back in. Opponent hit a very nice Earth Shatter in the back, so giving the rest of his team a little bit more time to focus down heroes like Kabe. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on there, a lot of
A lot of
micro
ults.
plays, and these teams are really, yeah, it's a lot of ults as well, but they're really getting a lot of scrappy fights out. You don't see like these classic goats fights where it's just these teams standing up each other and getting those clean combos off, or these very clean plays. Nice shatter from MGM.
It's going to be nano boosted too, just to save him. Not too much in terms of the damage boost, but yeah, it's going to be a fight one just off of the Earth Shatter and the nano boost there.
Yeah, I mean that's all they need, but I mean they really need to be a little bit careful about their ult usage because they really only have the grab now, and this is gonna be last fight territory. Like whoever wins this fight is likely gonna win the map. Like save maybe some spawn stagger.
Basically Slushy can't get a grab off because they don't have the Transcendence. Here's the grab from Kabe, but the Transcendence coming through from Frennick. Shatter block there. Neb's going to take down J-Mart. That's really good coming to the fight, but MGM goes down. Their shielding's gone. Oh no. Yeah, this looks really good for Serendipity. That completely turned itself around after that bomb.
That was a very, very interesting counter, combination though, because normally you have the grab and then the bomb, but then they use the bomb first and pull people back around the corner with the grab. So that's actually how Foster lost his mech. But yeah, first stage going to go over here to Serendipity, and that's good to see because that shows that that first map really wasn't anything of anything really, because that we're actually going to get a series now, and it's good to set the tone here. It was still a relatively close map. I think the main thing you're going to look at is how ultimates get value here, and I think that Ana pick, while it worked out sometimes, just not having a Transcendence was very detrimental to them.
Yeah, they didn't even have the nano boost coming into that last fight, so I think that really called it. You don't get that damage amplification, the damage reduction, and the instant healing coming out onto your Reinhardt or your Zarya, and the enemy team has invincibility, basically.
I think they really didn't get enough value out of their anti-nades. They got a few good ones off, but now we're going to see the Maygoats versus the standard 3-3 with Zenyatta. So D.Va versus Mei is kind of the difference we're looking at here. And the wall is going to be good, the first one.
It's going to take down MGM here, and yeah, solid cleanup from Serendipity. They're going to take down the D.Va mech as the baby D.Va gets a armor pack. Don't know if you'd want that. Taco Ninja being taken down in a stagger. Wall comes through, but it doesn't do too much. And that's going to be the cap for Serendipity.
It was really that first wall that just sealed the deal, but they're not pushing up as far as they might have wanted to. They could have been a little bit quicker on their, taking that space through the choke, because now Slushy is in position to put down another great wall. And yeah, they're really going to have to break through here on China behind those walls.
Kabe goes a little too forward onto that wall and going to make that fight a complete 5v6 there. Charge coming through. Nice shatter from MGM. Is it going to get any value? J-Mark goes down, but the Transcendence goes through. Beautiful wall coming out from Slushy to disengage from that fight, even though I believe they used a bit too much coming into that fight.
They can win this one just with the Graviton and the Blizzard. They don't actually need anything else. And then the Shatter comes up. Yeah, they're going to win this fight out just because of that. The Transcendence won't save anyone for long enough, I think. Maybe though.
Maybe it did. Wall coming through, doesn't get anything, just blocks him off for a little bit. But Neb's going to be taken down at the start of the fight. Opone going low too. Contra in the middle of everything, doing a ton of work with that very high energy. Kabe trying to do the same, trying to get down J-Mart. Bomb coming through, takes down two. That's the Zarya gone. Can Team G1 end this? Can they take this point?
Very important there that Kabe goes down as well. That means they're still even in ult charge. Now that Shatters comes through. I think this was always going to happen. No, after they didn't get any kills with that Grab Blizzard combo and the Shatter, using 3 ultimates, they're getting no value. That you can never have that happen, really. Yeah. But Contra's very close to another grab, just as Kabe, and because they both die, they will both be on low charge. And unlike Slushy with the Mei wall, they don't really have anything like that to block this entry for
To be honest, I think that's okay, because if you're so far ahead like this, you're going to be just fine. Grav coming through, he's going to get immediately tranced. Slushy going down to a charge from MGM here. Beautiful shatter coming from MGM here. And yeah, that's another team fight one. He's gotten a triple. That's a quad. That's a clip. Great plays coming from him, and yeah, it seems like they've certainly gotten their second wind from these past couple fights. They don't want to lose this Li Xiong tower. They want to go 2-0 in this series, and Contra with the Graviton Surge. Here we go. Here's a bomb. Oh, that was nice. He tried to go for the Earth Shatter, but Pone's gonna go down here.
He got the Earth Shatter off. I think what happened is Taco Ninja was behind him and he booped the Reinhardt forward, so he was in the wrong place from the bomb, and then he and everything behind him just died.
He tried to shield it, but he was forward. He was ahead of the shield. Yeah. He was ahead of the bomb. Yeah. So beautiful plays coming through them. Not a lot of ults on either side here, so this next fight is going to be very spicy. But Slushy goes down immediately. That's their Mei. They're not going to be able to use any of their zoning abilities here. Pone being taken out of position by a really nice boop from Taco Ninja. MGM running really low, but it looks like they're going to stabilize. And at 85%, this might be the last fight. Just Frenok with the ult. Actually, looks like both defensive ultimates coming out off of the side of
Serendipity. Will make it to the point though, so they don't have to worry about touching.
Av coming through.
Comes through for free.
Someone's capping from behind though. It's going to be the Diva from Slushy, but his team is going to go down.
And normally you send the Lucio there just so you can do things, but I think because Jamehart had the barrier, they didn't want to do that, and it's just going to be easy cleanup here for G1. So we're going to go into a 1-1 Legion Tower here, which is very nice to see. Again, definitely a pretty a close point, but you sort of saw this thing happening where first the one team gets to attack and defend, and then the other team, they just switch sides, and the defense of G1 was just a little bit better, and that happens sometimes. Not
and
a
I
lot
think,
of times,
to be honest, that was a lot to do with the pick from Slushy just staying on the Mei. I think that once you've lost out on the Mei, and you've given up that point at 80%, you need to give it up. If you've lost the point, because the Mei just doesn't have enough value unless you're towards the point.
Well, that's not entirely true. There's a lot of value you can get from an offensive Mei. So if you play it in the right way, you can still use the wall, the block, the blizzard in proper situations, but they just weren't able to use them properly, and that's probably because Slushy is a substitution. And if you have your main player, that might play differently, then it works because Slushy is a substitute. They've obviously practiced it, so that's why they stick on it. But that's a nice boop from MGM to start.
Brilliant boop. Yeah, it's going to be the 3-3 matchup versus this triple DPS, and while it looks like triple DPS is going to have a very good time here with the Reinhardt there, Pone might want to have to switch to the Winston. Looks like they're going to go for swaps.
Yeah, there's no Sombra because obviously they banned that hero out, so they can actually run some picks like the Wrecking
They're running
Ball,
the same exact comp.
Yeah, they're just because they have the Widowmaker instead of the Pharah. They don't attacking as a Pharah is a lot harder than defending as a Pharah on a map like this, so that's why they're likely gonna go for the Widowmaker. But it's interesting to see Pone going over to the Widowmaker and Contra on the Wrecking Ball, because Pone has been the main tank so far.
Yep. Yeah, we'll see what Pone can do. You don't often see snipers on main tank mains, but yeah, this will be super interesting. He's trying to go in for some aggressive positioning onto Taco Ninja, but he's just not hitting any of these shots. Cory Bakuta though has, but Taco Ninja's gonna get that res off without any consequence.
They're not punishing Taco Ninja for these reses, and that is just something like with 5v6 I could see it happen, but this is just there were 2 hit scan heroes there. You should be able to take that shot.
Ooh, beautiful pulse bomb.
And now they're
Kabe.
just gonna get punished because Cory Bakuta has just not been able to work his way out of that area where he's standing around that rock.
Yep.
Yeah, they have issues. They have some issues here right now. I don't think it's because of Slushy. There is something going on that they're not. I wouldn't say not telling us because obviously they're not telling us much, but yeah, there's something that doesn't quite seem to be gelling here.
I honestly think it could be just the synergy between Slushy and the rest of the team. Slushy being the ringer for Serendipity eSports, just not getting a ton of value off of this Tracer, while Kabe, he's been a tried and true member of G1 here. He's going to have a lot of synergy with his team and going to be able to tell call-outs. Look at him from the backside. He's easily able to do this flanking maneuver, just trying to get more ult charge. He's poking down at Pone right here. There is the attack visor coming from Cory Bakuta. He's going to be taken out. This looks pretty even coming to this fight, though.
And no res this time. They actually managed to boop away Taco Ninja. So Taco Ninja, while being in the Valkyrie form, still going to get taken down almost. does get away with his life, but Kabe's still alive, doing a lot of work. We've seen Tracer do this in the past. Doesn't actually get it though, so nice play there. I think a big deal about that is just getting the attack visor first. Yams actually using the nano boost there, so no combination of attack visor and nano boost this time, which, you know, the soldier doesn't do that much damage with his ultimate, but with that nano boost with it and having an auto aim, that's just insane.
Yep, Slushy trying to do his best and take down some of the supports from G1 here. Not too much done. Valkyrie coming out. Here's attack visor. It's not going to get too much value because Pwn is running the Diva here, and while Pwn gets taken out of his mech, mines coming through are going to get a lot of value. Neb's running really low to them as well. He's going to be taken out from a melee. This looks really good for Serendipity. They're going to have to... G1 are really going to have to regroup.
Yeah, and with the switch to both the Moira and the Diva, they're giving Kabe a lot more trouble actually getting value. Kabe is getting in, getting some shots here and there, but you get a harder time to shoot out the pulse bombs, harder time to just, you know, be in a fight for long enough to actually do a lot of damage. And that's why you see them just moving over to this,
Swaps.
well, this 3-3. You know, they're gonna run the Winston. They still have the Ana because of the nano boost, but other than that, this is a pretty standard switch teams will make.
Yep.
And the Ana will get their value. Use nano boost MGM, it will be fine. Slushy has to blink out of there, doesn't want to be stuck in that room. I don't think Contra wants to be either, but hard time getting out there, does manage to do it.
Ultimates, that's an amazing bomb. Is it going to get any value? No. Shielded by Neb's beautiful shield there from the Brigitte. Yeah. Pwn going to try and stall into this point. Contra being taken down very low. Rally coming through from Nebs. It's going to be really good for them. They're on the point too. They have the positional advantage. And yeah, they're going to get a lot of advantages from this. Valkyrie comes through from J-Mart. However, thinking this fight's going to go heavily in the favor of Team G1 as they're trying to just slowly whittle down and heal up with the 3-3 composition. There's nothing that can be really done about it. Slushy going to get a nice pulse bomb, but the beat drops, and that's going to mitigate most of it. They're just on a power play here with the 3-3 composition.
The big problem is that they've been able to zone out Cody Bakusuta for a long time with this soldier, but he's back. He immediately gets 2 kills.
Two kills.
First, MGM zoned him out, but it's not enough. There comes the tech.
3.
This might actually be the cleanup that they're looking for.
He's going to be taken down. He gets nano boosted, but...
He's not. He's alive.
Wow.
Yams is there.
Wow. Is he actually doing this?
Yeah, Cody Bakusuta. Like, they were very right to zone him out for that long, but then he gets back. Nebs was not paying attention to the brig as well. Just got shot in the back before, and now they're just back. They have the numbers, they have the damage. They should be able to take this.
Hold on, Kabe doing really well with this Zarya here. Foster gonna swap over to the Wrecking Ball. Pulse Bomb coming through, doesn't get anything, but J-Mark being taken down. Foster gonna go down, no! That's their main tank line going down. MGM died with Primal. Who's gonna take this? Slushy trying to do his best.
It is so much closer than it maybe needed to be, but it's really fun to watch. MGM's gonna come back with a Primal Rage. I think he'll actually make it.
Gets 2.
And Nebs is just... How is Nebs still alive? This just shows what Brigitte can do. If you don't focus her down with the right hero, she just stays alive forever. And she has that extra healing from the Lucio. She has the speed. Now she has the rally. This is just this is gonna go on for a while, and now it's actually back in numbers' favor for 1G here.
Oh, beautiful stun from Nebs on the Coalescence.
Another tech visor.
It's not going to get as much value anymore.
No, because the sound
like
barrier.
they know how to play
Ninja
around
has
it.
been making Koriba Katsuta's life hell.
They got to cap the point, though. If they get off the point for a second, it's over for Team G1 here.
Yeah, they have the people. They don't really have to leave much on the point because there isn't much to be on the point for. How fast is the overtime going to kick down? Not that fast. I thought it was going to be faster, but you know, phone gets in. Contra might get in on time. I think this is going to be, this is going to be over soon. Oh, unfortunate. It looked like they had it for a while for Serendipity there. But that was a kind of a crazy comeback, I'd say.
Yeah, it was a great couple of plays from Corey Bakutsuta. And he certainly tried. However, Team G1 going to take that. Lijiang map going to go up 2-0 in the series. Really great play coming from MGM here.
Yeah,
Earthshadow doing a ton of work. It's the 4K.
I really think a really big deal of why they were able to win that is Taco Ninja. Has been hitting some very good boops, get some reses off that you really think like at some point, you obviously also blame Serendipity a little bit for that. I mean, there were quite a few raises where you think you should be able to do something about that. But Taco Ninja doing a lot of plays actually got Kodobak. I keep struggling with that name. Kodobakusuta. Yeah. At some point he was there on the soldier and just booped him off the bridge. And he comes back with a tech fire, which is a sound barrier, boops him back on the bridge as well. So really very aware of, I'm not just supporting my team, I'm also zoning out certain enemies. And that was Taco Ninja doing a very good job on support role.
Yep. The insta-ban coming out from Hanamura there, off of Team G1. Serendipity going to get their pick of the litter. They got a couple maps to choose from. They can't play another control map, unfortunately, and of course Junkertown was already played in the map pool, so we'll be headed to. Looks like
we could be going to any of the three other types.
Yep.
But really like Hollywood. So Hanamura's going to be banned out. The other map that was banned out before, by the way.
Assault is still in play. They still have 3.
Yeah, it's still in play. So like the other, which one did they ban out? The other map? Let me try.
Hanamura?
Yeah, that was what they just banned out, but they banned out one for that as well. Paris. So Paris and Hanamura are banned out.
Oh, okay.
Hero ban and save will be reset. So that's going to be new for this one.
Mm-hmm.
G1 is to choose to start on defense here. And yeah, they got to obviously pick the hero that they want to save. And repick.
I'm actually super happy that this has become a closer match than you thought at map 1.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's obvious that Serendipity are really trying with this ringer as Slushy. He's doing rather well on whatever he can play. And they'll be swapping over. So Team G1 will be on the blue side now. Serendipity will be in the red, just a heads up for anyone. It does get a little confusing for the casters when teams swap colors.
I mean, we do see a save on the Sombra here, by the way, from the G1, so not the Brigitte this time. But that could still, if they ban the right heroes in Serendipity's side, that they're banning Mercy here. So that can tell you a few things. Normally, something like that tells you that they don't want you to be in a bunker with a Mercy.
Yep.
And then look at the Bastion and then have that Pharah on the side.
Yep. Or even like the clockwork comp with the Mercy, because Mercy is very core in that.
She is very, very good in it. She's not always core in it. Like I said, she is sometimes swapped out for it for something else. So it's mostly about the DPS and tank combo, but she does get played a lot. So
yeah,
whatever you want to run here, I think Mercy can be very impactful, but it can also be very impactful for an attacking team, because if you run into an Orisa bunker comp, spam damage is a lot of good value for you. So you could in fact also run the Pharah and a Hanzo and a Junkrat on attack with it. So you just break the shield faster than they can replace it. But yeah, we're gonna see obviously what they're gonna set up on defense on. We might suspect some sort of bunker, and if that happens, I would if they save the Sombra, I would think they either. So the two reasons you can have for saving the Sombra here is either you want to use it yourself in your defense, with that bunker as the solo DPS on the side, or you can not want to be playing into a bunker for too long, just charge the EMP and jump in with a Sombra to hack it all. It looks like I don't want to use another defense so far. They're actually going to run a Genji on defense. That's something I haven't seen before, but it gets switched around, obviously. Caster Curse, let's go. But Neb's going over to the Hanzo. Also not something I see a lot of the time. So I get the idea of it, but I'm less enthusiastic about it, because Hanzo doesn't really operate well as a sort of solo entity. So that means that Nebs will sort of have to stay in the bunker as well, meaning that the bunker is once again very linear. And that has been proven to be problematic as of late.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he'll try and develop some sort of crossfire with his team, but this first point doesn't offer too much sightlines in terms of if you're on the point and you can get towards the wall that the bunker comp is playing towards. They're trying to go around the bend here, but not all of the team is there. In fact, 4 of the team are just waiting in in me.
She's getting into position. That's what they're waiting for. So they want to have that.
Yeah, but Cory Bakutsuta is going to go down to Nebs, and there's the crossfire that we were talking about. Kabe being taken, Kabe doing a ton of damage there. It takes down both of the tanks, and that's going to be a reset.
Yeah, unfortunate. Obviously, I don't think Slushy really got a hack off that they wanted to get off, and now you actually see that the MGM is also spamming for the Sombra. They just don't want to get the Sombra in. Yam's also spamming for it. So
Can someone please top off Taco Ninja, please? There we go.
Oh, see that coming in there. But yeah, Pone going down straight away, but they are close to getting a tick, so they need to get onto the point now.
Yep, MGM's going to move down, and this fight seems to be over. Great halt onto onto Pone, who is the Winston, and coming onto that engagement. Kabe gonna be taking a lot of. It's gonna take not too much damage. Gonna have the ult ready for this next engagement. Asleep onto Freynock doesn't do much. Immortality field though wasted, and Nebs being slept out. This could be good. If they can take down Nebs, no, nothing will happen. Hack comes through, but Kabe gonna take some kills immediately.
Yeah, but this is over already. They were all hacked up. They have the Nano Blade out. There's no way they can pull this back, even with Kabe on the Bastion here. That's not gonna happen, right?
No,
it's not gonna happen, right? Oh,
it is.
On. Oh, Kabe.
It's just the baby diva versus Orisa.
Thunder just has to hide. Doesn't have to fight this. Just wait for your team. You don't have to go in there. And now Slushy's gonna run straight at it as well. This is sort of a misplay. You know that you have the spawn advantage here. Why would you run at it? You don't have to. Just wait for Potent. Now they're yeah. I think you throw away a point cap there. I don't think that is a fight you had to take as Contra and as Slushy. They could have just worked together as a team. Or it's out, but this is just now they've gotten it back. And now you've thrown away all that old combo. No more Nano Blade, no more EMP. Yeah.
Great plays coming from Kabe too, just really getting around the entirety of Serendipity eSports and going from behind and going for these attacks, getting a lot of value, taking down Freynock there in almost every fight. The Tracer proving super useful. Ooh, gets taken out to half with that Genji. Neb's gonna be hacked off, needs to back up. They're trying to dive in. No Bastion anymore, remember that. And Dragon Strike gonna be beated out. Not too much value. Bomb coming through. Is that gonna get value? It gets MGM. Really good for them. Other bomb coming through. Just gonna get Cory Bakutsuta. And this looks like a fight win to come out from Serendipity eSports.
They need to really clean it up a bit quicker this time, because otherwise the respawns are going to come back in again, but I think they've got it this time. Yeah, there's a lot of scrappy things coming in, so a lot of ultimates being used simultaneously for both teams, and then both getting value. So ultimates are really being dodged properly by either team, or countered, which is sort of understandable. They don't really have that many ultimates that deal with other ultimates. So you sort of hope for the best, with both these ultimates, and who's going to come out on top is sort of almost an RNG type of deal. But now with the nano boost, with the EMP, I think they can get Pone just the nano boost.
I really like this comp coming out from the defense. We have the double stun McGree Brigitte combo coming out, but MGM's going to be taken down where they can position themselves. And Cory Bakutsuta, the nano boost going to be used from Freynock. Not going to get too much value. He's going to try to jump in. Neb's booping him away, and Cory Bakutsuta, or looking at his blade, this could be another good value blade, because Yams doesn't have the Transcendence. They keep pushing this payload, and there's no one's doing anything about it. No one's contesting anything. There we go. There's finally the contest from MGM. Hack,
EMP blade. This is going to be great for them. I think it should be.
Oh.
Oh, the McCree Genji duel. Oh. No, Kabe wins it with Foster and back in the map.
Kabe. He's 1 HP.
He's so low.
There we go. He gets healed up. And yeah, this looks like a solid defense coming out. Bomb and the primal Contra getting Yams.
They have some number equilibrium here.
Yep. Taco Ninja gonna try to do the best he can. MGM being taken down. Yeah. Scrappy fight coming out. A lot of ultimates used off the side of
once again.
But yeah, it looks like they're gonna take this.
And Neps this time not surviving as long as the Lijiang Tower, actually going down here, not getting the rally up in time, and they're gonna get this point here, but That was an interesting street space. They lost a lot of time on first, but they're sort of getting it back now. 2.5 minutes to push into last. That's fine. Corey Bakusuta will go down pretty early. High Noon coming out from Kabe. Actually, D-Mex Contra here. So Kabe doing a little bit of work there on the McCree.
Yep. You can't use your defensive matrix too much, or you're going to be taken down. I'm surprised they're still moving this payload. I want to see G1 contest this, and why are they giving up so much ground when they just got a bunch of kills? Yeah, this seems really interesting. I guess they have the call to back up, even though they've won the fight.
Yeah,
they have a bunch of ults as well.
I'm wondering if we still have the word team fight really be a thing here in this match so far, because there's just so much scrappiness coming out in individual duels.
Yep. Bomb coming through just a remake. Foster trying to get back in. Hack doesn't get anything at all, just gets Nebs. That's not as much value as well, but MGM goes down. And this fight is...
really
Nem's going to be taken down here too. This is looking really sloppy for G1. There's the High Noon from Corey Bakutsuta to zone people out. It doesn't get much. Team G1 trying to take this through. 1.5 minutes left. It looks like they have stabilized, but that was really sloppy coming from G1.
And MGM really hasn't had that much value in the last few fights. They're now swapped over towards the almost 3-3. Nebs is going to back... Yeah, Nebs going to go back over to the Brigitte, so they will be on the Winston 3-3 now. Looked very good on Lijiang Gardens. Don't know how much it will do here. Cordy is going to stay on the McCree. I think he might also be going back to spawn and swapping. Yes, so they'll keep Slushy and Frenok because they've got the nano up. The EMP is far enough along that they can risk going for that. Going to go over to the Reinhardt Contra on the Zarya. So we'll have a Reinhardt 3-3 versus a Winston 3-3.
The biggest point of contention, though, is going to be Kabe on this Zarya with the Graviton Surge. They
Already
don't have
there.
anything. They don't have anything to contest for this. If they grab, they're just
even
going to instantly win the
Primal
fight.
can be very valuable.
There's the grab. It just gets pwned, though. I don't know if that's good enough value. Pwn.
Definitely not. Oh, it is. Never mind. He took a little bit more damage on the sun than I thought because he was actually nanoed by Freenox, so that could have kept him alive longer, but then all of a sudden just lost 400 HP. I don't know where that came from.
Slushy gonna try and get on this payload?
Yeah, Slushy will make it. I mean, he's invisible. He'll be fine, and then he can just EMP.
Too.
If he times the EMP correctly, the team can back.
Good, Yams is hiding. Good, Yams is hiding. He's hiding. He's waiting for the EMP. He knows it's coming. They plan this. Sombra touches. Doesn't get too much.
Didn't actually use it straight away. Solo EMP on MGM, but doesn't get him.
Oh no. And Yams gets the Transcendence off. Bomb coming through. Shouldn't get any value. Yep.
Does though.
Gonna take down Freenock. Yeah, this looks really good for Team G1. Finally, they're coming into things with the Graviton. Kabe doing a ton of work here, cleaning up. And that's going to be a solid hold coming from them.
Yeah, they finally got that defense up, but that was definitely a problem there. You know, it's I don't know. It's it was a bit hard for them to do that there.
Yeah.
But you know, they're gonna have to go into their attack now, and I'm really just to see how they're gonna deal with a potential bunker defense here, because I have a feeling that Serendipity wants to do the same thing. I'm not gonna say they are 100% are going to, but it's likely. You know, they banned the Mercy out so that Bastion cannot be rezzed up, but they might just not want to use a Mercy in their own composition. Could be that they just throw Slushy on a Sombra and then they're just gonna go with that type of defense. Because I wasn't really a big fan of the Nebs Hanzo. It's a thing. It got some value, but I think it got more value than it normally should. So I'm not feeling it, but you know, it's a team's choice. So I don't know what Serendipity is going to do on their defense. Looks like they always want to go with the Sombra goat so far, but they might just want to switch that still. They are all going to the point, so I'm guessing this is what they're going to stick with. No environmental spawn deaths here before the match starts, because it's Hollywood.
Yep.
And on the attack, they're going to
can't fall off anything.
Spam. I mean, they're going to go for triple DPS as well, but if they're going to stick on these heroes, that's something I haven't seen before. The Hanzo and the Sombra is something I can imagine, but maybe the Ashe. And if you hack the shield away, it could be a thing. I don't know. I think they might switch counter out when they see the defense. When they see the defense, they might switch.
I think they're trying to counter out a bunker comp, but that's just not what Serendipity are running here. So
yeah, might just be a out from the Sombra and then a retreat. Slushy was actually counter scouting as well, so he's gonna come out with the Sombra 3-3. This is gonna be a mirror, it seems like, almost. No, because it's gonna be Foster on the D.Va, so that's the only difference.
Yep. MGM's shield being taken out very low. Foster being hacked up, but Taco Ninja gonna go down, and that's really big. This is a really big attack. MGM gonna be taking out a ton of damage. They're gonna get a ton of ult charge off of Slushy. Freynock, in general, just 75% of this ult charge is really good for them.
Oh, the stagger on Foster as well. Hacked up, couldn't get back into mech. Then the charge. They maybe could have even stalled that out a little bit longer, but you know that is what it is. You can't really
look at Slushy.
Yeah, Slushy is just getting so much ult charge already at 75. Contra as well though, already 70 free knock onto his trends already. So very good value from that first fight. So they're gonna be able to bide their time for a little
95% here. Contra has the
charge.
But yeah, this is really good. MGM being taken down. Solid defense coming out from Serendipity eSports here. They didn't even use anything. They have almost
it isn't
5 ultimates.
It isn't really a defense. It feels like they're just running into them. It feels more of like a counter attack rather than a defense. So
it really does.
They're not like reactive, and I think they learned from their first attack that, you know, when they just keep on pressing, it's going to be very hard for them to regroup, and that's where they can pull their strength. So they're really dictating the pace of the game, and on defense that's hard to do. So it's really nice to see them do that. I think they're missing one member right now. No, I'm incorrect. Slush is already back. Let's go. They've got all the ultimates, like you said. They haven't used anything from the last fight. This is going to be this is not going to be a hard defense. Ideally they shouldn't have to use much.
Yams isn't hacked though, but he's shattered, and that's going to be the end of another Team G1 attack here.
I don't really like that. I really don't like that from Yams for the sole reason that normally you see this happen, right? With Lucio's, with Zenyatta's, the EMP comes out or the Graph comes out, and they wait like 1 or 2 seconds because then we still have the value after the ultimate. But so often that just doesn't pay off. And especially with an EMP, if you're there, just use it. I think they might just want to have a dry fight, so it doesn't really matter that much, but there's still so many ultimates up.
Looking good now. Nice shattered touchdown Pwn. He's going to be taken down. Grav coming in. Trance being used by Yams to heal everyone up on the side of Freynock as well. But they're down by 1. Trying to focus down. They get down Slushy.
Oh, Slushy.
Looking really good for G1. And it looks like G1 are going to take this. Yep.
Slushy was so close to the EMP, and then they use both support ultimates and the Grav and the Shatter, and yeah, I mean, they will have an EMP, so they'll essentially get a free fight win just at the EMP because there's not going to be any ultimates from the defense, for the attackers. Ideally, they want to have Taco Ninja use that sound barrier and use EMP.
Yeah, you
then
have
you waste an ultimate and get a clean fight win. I think that's the double factor. But I hope Taco Ninja's been doing very well, so I'm thinking Taco Ninja's a little bit smarter than that. But you never know. It's always a possibility.
One of the disadvantages of having a Sombra, and the hack comes through, gets 4. Taco Ninja isn't going to be able to do anything about it. Bomb coming through doesn't get much value from Foster, but it looks like they're just running over their composition. And like I was going to talk about, you know, if you have the D.Va, you can just run into the enemy team's Sombra Goats composition. You don't really have to worry about anything unless Contra has a ton of energy. It's not going to matter too much. And
I mean, that's why they were running such a dictating style, because, you know, they know the enemy team wants to run into them when their Sombra is not present. So rather they choose their own moments of engagement when the Sombra is there on and off.
And the ultimate economy is completely changed. MGM gonna take down the Sombra, the Zarya though. That's really good. This is another team wipe. They're not even using that much.
Yeah, both Shatters got some value, but the grab after from Kabe is just the one that gets it home, really. And,
and he's been charging those grabs like a monster.
Freynock and J-Mark still not on support ultimates. They remember they used them on the first point, still, like when they lost that last fight. And the streets is almost done, and they still have them back. Well, Yams and Taiko Ninja still have theirs.
Wow, they capped.
Back in time.
Yep.
They do get Yams though, so this could, they could still win this fight and have a very forward hold there on the defense.
Yeah, but look at Kabe on the top ground.
3 minutes though. That's all for 3 minutes.
They're losing a lot of ground here, but I'm looking at Kabe, and he's just getting so much ult charge just onto the high ground here. Gonna be taken out to the
I don't think he
low
really
ground,
got
pushing
that much
things.
because they're quite far away, so it was mostly left clicking. He is high charge though, but you know, Contra already has the graph. There's now the support ultimates are sort of back in for both teams, and we have some tank ultimate advantage here for the.
There we go. Here's Slushy, trying to go from the background. Takes the hack from Foster, but he's going to be taken out very low. 95% though. Here's the grab. Going to be tranced out. Shadow doesn't get much. There's the hack. Brilliant hack. 4-person. And there's nothing defensive to hold G1 together. MGM's going to fall. I'm sure the rest of them are going to be scattered. Here, yeah, they're going to have to back up. I don't think Kabe wants to waste his ult charge.
It felt like an overinvestment here for the defenders, which it might have all been a little bit. They will still have their support ultimate, so I guess that's a good thing, but definitely a lot of ults used there. All
Yeah, 4 ults
out, and then yeah, it's. I don't know if they're going to be able to hold for 2 minutes for this, but just these support ultimates could hold them out for a little bit while, just because the 4 other ultimates come back up. And Slushy's been building really quickly.
There we go. Bomb coming through. Nice charge coming from MGM. Gonna take down Pwn with that. Contra being taken down, trying to be focused out by the other Zarya. Gets taken out of half. And yeah, ridiculously close to the point. They're gonna need to touch. Someone's gonna need to touch. It's gonna be Corey Bakutsuta. But they're gonna go down immediately. And
yeah,
that's gonna be it.
That's a series. Yeah. But Taco Ninja hadn't used that sound barrier the entire attack.
Oh,
I don't think I saw it come out once. And then you're like, how? Because it was at some points, I think, certainly sort of necessary for them. But yeah, apparently not. It wasn't meant to be or something. I don't know. But,
right off the top there from Pwn.
I know. I think there were a lot of points where they really looked well on the side of Serendipity, but there were just quite a few moments where you're like, yeah, that's just maybe an odd choice, an overinvestment of ultimates, not getting value out of certain ultimate combos. You know, that thinking back to Lijiang Tower, that Blizzard Graviton combo that got no value. Yeah, I mean, some fairly impressive play from certain things. I think Slushy definitely held his own up. You know, being a substitute or ringer just comes in. Teams are going to be happy to, you know, if they need someone to do that, you know, get Slushy in. But yeah, a lot of good plays. Unfortunately, Serendipity is the end of the road for them here in the Watchers Brawl 5. But yeah, G1 advancing is good for them. I'm really looking forward to them getting somewhere here.
Yep, we're going to be having Taco Ninja on interview. Taco Ninja, I'm being stopped by the police here real quick. I'm just kidding. Taco Ninja, how are you doing? Congrats on the win.
Well, feeling pretty good. We had a lot of people try and make it. We had to reschedule. It feels good that we were still able to play and make it here and just be able to play against these guys. It was a fun and entertaining game.
It was a little unfortunate that Serendipity didn't have their full roster, but I felt like Slushy did pretty well. How was practicing before this matchup? There's a lot of things on the line in Overwatch Brawl. Watchers Brawl 5, a lot of money on the line as well too, so.
Well, we've been practicing a lot. We had to get our old main tank into the roster, MGM, from Open Division. He left right after it and he came back. We've been practicing as much as we possibly can with a bunch of schedules that cannot make certain times and just people missing due to work or anything like family businesses like a wedding and all that, but trying our hardest to practice.
Yeah, it happens. You get a lot of players even in trials that they're trying to their practices around their schedules and just hoping things work out in the end. It's good that things did work out in the end for you guys. Moving up to round 2 of the losers bracket, you guys will be pulling the winner of either Blurry's Money Crew or Crimson Crabs, which will be airing in a couple of days. Have you heard of any of these teams before?
I've heard of the Crimson Crabs. They played against the Raccoonins, who I used to be on the team before they were the Raccoonins, so I know a bunch of people there.
Oh.
All that. Yeah.
That's super interesting.
That's actually not the team you might be playing against, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. You're gonna play against the game 11 losers. So that will
that's
be,
right.
Yeah. Let me just find the updated bracket here. I don't actually have it, but from memory, that would be either Baron Nation Infinity or Skyburn Esports.
Oh yeah, both those
Yeah.
teams are pretty good, almost making it into Charles.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
well,
I think actually Baron Nation might have been in there, but yeah, I think either of those teams will be it. But there's games you could rewatch. You could basically see what they've done in the past. So
yeah, which is
scouting's
always
possible. But wanted to just make
Whoopsie.
it clear for you. who
Yeah,
you're
I
gonna
wanted
play.
I wanted to give you like an edge out, like, oh, okay, these teams will be easier because they've been in the losers bracket. Nope, they'll be going up against teams that have made Open Division playoffs.
well,
Oopsie.
Hey,
That's all right, I don't think
there's always chances. I mean, if you haven't played against them before, there's some things you could surprise them with. I think there was definitely some plays you made there that could have definitely worked.
yeah. We've been practicing a bunch of triple DPS since sometimes we've gotten out-ghosted as proven against Nevermore. We tried to out-strategize them by using our DPS, who are very good actually. Nebs and Cabe, I'd like to shout them out. They have a lot of carry potential, and we tried to play around them last game, and just hope for the best, man.
Yeah,
There were
I
some
mean,
moments there actually that from you yourself, you made quite a few fun plays. Booping the soldier of the map there on Lijiang Gardens, I think it was. And there were some crazy reses as well coming out where like, wow, how did they let them get their reses out? But yeah, there was some fun play there. Were there any like moments that you think back of like, oh yeah, that was really a fun one, or like something I don't know how that happened?
Just that res on Lijiang you're bringing up, that was
There were a few ones, but yeah, there was one that was really.
I was like, our playstyle is just go for it, and that's what I was like, okay, might as well, and it ended up working out in the end. So
it seemed like you guys were having a lot of trouble against Koribaku Tsuta's soldier, especially on that Lijiang map. That was getting kind of close there. You guys have any plans to counter a Soldier 76 pick in the future? Because that was really close. You guys cut it really close there.
that was just going floats or a little bit earlier. We recognized that as soon as we when it started getting really close, we're like, oh, we need to make sure we have this monkey going onto their soldier and just try and negate him as much as possible, since we have the better point presence. So just work on trying to negate him with either myself or MGM in the future, or even just Yams, who we're trying to play around a bit more. Just make himself, like, turn him into the J. Jonek. The man's extremely mechanically gifted, so
Nice.
always could expect those 5 orbs onto the soldier's head.
Nice. Well, I wish you guys the best of luck in your next couple of matches. Hopefully, you don't go down too easily.
Yeah.
We're hoping that you guys stay for the the next couple of rounds through losers bracket, because you guys seem like a very fun team to watch.
Thank you.
So yeah, that'll be it for tonight's Overwatch Watchers Brawl match. We'll see you guys again in a couple of days as we get into these next matches. So once again from
already actually.
I'm sorry?
I think we're already back tomorrow. I think I'm there tomorrow, so yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I
Tomorrow
am
7 and 9 p.m. EST, as usual. They're the normal times that we broadcast. But yeah, we're going to be back then, and hope to see you.